Good morning. This is Gaming Perspectives with
Saul
and Jolene, and today we're talking about advice to give experienced role players.
Yes.
Why do they need advice?
Exactly.
If they're experienced.
Well, I think you're never too old to learn a new trick.
Okay.
And I think most of the advice is always geared toward new players, right? So I came across this on Reddit, and I thought it was an interesting question. What would you give advice to players who have experience? Now, what does experience mean to me, right? It might be different to different people. How much experience do you need to have before you're experienced? A journeyman RPG player.
I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't know either. I mean, I've been playing a long time. I think I said 47 years or something like that. So that's a long time. Obviously, I would consider myself experienced, but then I heard people, or I read people were saying that they've been playing D&D for 5 years, 2 years. And I'm like, I definitely got shirts older than that.
You do.
So experience, I guess, is anything where you're not new to the role-playing experience, right? This isn't your first or even your second session. You haven't been playing longer than maybe 4 to 6 months, I'm guessing. It depending on how many times you play. If you only played once in 6 months, you're still pretty inexperienced. But if you played every weekend for 6 months, that's a different story. How much time do you have underneath your belt, I guess, would be the real question.
How many games you've played?
Yes, correct. And games, right? Because some people...
I said how many games you've played.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you meant like different game systems. Like
I
some
just
people
meant
said,
how many sessions.
Yes, we're talking sessions, yeah. So some people said like they played D&D for 5 years ago. Does he play anything else? So I think that comes into our question. What kind of advice would I give? Of course, you got to figure out how much time they played and how many times they played and all that. So if they played, I would say, 100 hours versus 5 hours.
My first question is, are they asking you for this advice, or are you just randomly stopping them on the street and telling them?
I'm randomly telling them on the street.
Okay.
Do you play RPGs? Yes. How long you been playing? So much? Okay, this is what you need to know. This is what you need to ask yourself. Or here's advice you should have.
Okay.
So these are in no particular order. They're not ranked or anything as what's more important than the other. But so this is just a shotgun approach. I just shoot the...
This is Saul's random list of items?
Yes.
Okay.
Not quite random. So the first one, and this somebody else said it, and I would say it too, is try GM once or twice.
You mean try to run a game once or twice?
Right. At least.
As the GM.
As the GM. Because I think with that kind of experience, it really broadens your ideas about role-playing, right? You understand what the GM goes through when they're running the game. And when you do that, when you put on the GM shoes, it does open your experience in a way that just playing games doesn't. I mean, you could theoretically, I understand how to run a game. I know the rules enough to run a game. But until you run a game, I think it's one of those things that you just have to do. No matter how much stuff you might read about or people tell you about, it's not the same.
I agree.
You agree?
I think that, I agree that running a game is different than what you think it is. I have an example.
Yes.
Steven.
Oh.
Who wanted to run games, but was always like, I don't know.
I'm not ready yet.
But then we decided he wanted to do it. And so we put him into this huge game at DunderCon. Then he never wanted to run a game again.
I think before that, there was a game. There was a group of players, because at one point I had stepped away from running games for a group that we were playing in, and he said he would take over the reins. That I would be the introductory session, and then he would take over running the game. But as soon as I stopped running the game, the group fell apart because he didn't want to run a game. So he goes, "You really aren't going to run a game?" I go, "No, I told you that from the beginning." So I think there is some people who are a little bit scared of running the game, or the fear of the unknown, but it's not really that big of a deal, guys. If you played, give your GM a break and run a game for them. But I think ultimately it's a very good experience for people who have a lot of experience under their belt, but just not as a GM.
Now he runs a game. for our people.
Yeah, other people.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stephen. Do you want to talk anything else about GMing? You ran it. You were a player, and then you switched to running a few games here and there. What did you think about that experience?
It's fine. I don't know what you want me to say.
No, I mean, did you?
Let's see. One of the last campaigns or one of the last games I ran, I killed someone's horse.
And
oh no, the last one I did was a Santa Claus episode.
Oh yeah, that was good.
You guys had fun.
Yeah.
That was fun.
So I think you're right. I mean, it is fun, but it also could be daunting for some people, and it's some people think it's a lot of responsibility. But I think if you have a good set of players and they know it's your first time or second time running, they should take it easy on you.
I don't know. Every time you run a game at a convention, you like freak out 2 hours before and are all like, oh my God, what if they don't like it?
Yeah, well, I've talked about it before. Yeah, it is a big deal for me. But I don't have that problem when I'm running at home, I don't think.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. I think it's my fear of people not having a good time and me, what is it? I would say I'm responsible for them having a good time for the next 4 to 6 hours in a game session. Then it's a lot of pressure. No, it's just something that happens to me. I don't know if it's butterfly, stage fright, whatever you call it. But I think that comes from a sense of wanting to make sure that I run the game as best as I can.
There you go.
Okay, number 2. Well, the next one is look for ways as a player to help the GM. Not necessarily run the game, but alleviate some of the lifting that goes along with GMing.
What do you mean?
Well, it could be as simple as helping your fellow new player who are left or right to you to ask them questions about, do you know what you want to do in the next round when it's your turn? Oh yeah, and just helpful hints along those. That's also, you could help them by now I never done this, but you could help them by maintaining the initiative order for whatever reason. You know, like maybe the GM has a lot of different bells and whistles going on. And just stuff like that helps the GM not carry all the burden as far as keeping track of stuff, taking notes. I know GMs usually don't take notes on their own game, but some of them would really like it. And if they have somebody taking notes, then that would be beneficial for them. Just little things like that.
Okay. I'm not sure. I mean,
hosting. Instead of going to the GM's place and having them run games. They don't have to, the drink's over here, the bathroom's over there. Oh, yeah, the plates are over there. If you have the game at your place, then you can answer those questions that could distract the GM.
I think the GM would only have to tell people once, and then the next time they were there, they'd figure it out on their own. That's true.
It does happen, though. Some people forget. We're running through these pretty quick. But anyway, don't forget that RPGs are supposed to be fun.
Are they?
Yeah. So experienced players, sometimes they whether they're mini-maxers, rules lawyers, and other assorted type of players, they might get into the gamification of the game and not realize that this is a role-playing game. Just let loose and have fun, right? You're supposed to just enjoy the game instead of
that's within reason.
Nitpick about the GM's faults or errors.
It's not just about the GM. If you're an experienced player, you should enjoy the game, but you should also do things like not talk while the GM is talking.
Oh, yeah.
Not have loud side conversations while all the other players are trying to listen to the GM talk.
Yes. That's very good. I mean, that should be a given, but as an experienced player, it shows really bad form.
But
right?
I think more what you mean is you should have fun. I think you're talking about people who are like so into what their character can do that they're not paying attention to anything else.
Correct.
They're so into what should happen or could happen if you walk down that hallway.
Right. Exactly. So I think, I know we said it before, but I don't think it could be said too much that you're supposed to be having fun because we are playing a role-playing game.
I think almost every role-playing game I've been in, I've had fun. Except for every once in a while, there's moments when I'm like, okay.
I think a Shadowrun where the whole session was planning something, I think
that was actually fun.
Oh, well, I thought you was getting kind of tired toward the end.
No, I didn't mind that one. Trying to pull the pulled teeth to get people to tell me which way they want to go or what the plan is.
Yeah,
is often.
What do you call that?
It's like herding cats, I tell you.
Yeah. Players.
So sometimes that loses the fun for me if I'm like going, just tell me which way we're supposed to go.
that happens quite a bit with you, doesn't it?
No, only with the people I play with all the time.
Okay, that happens quite a bit. I think you're right.
I think that sometimes when a lot of players are playing or experienced players are playing, they want to either to figure out in their head what's going to happen. They don't want to just go.
Right.
And that takes the fun away from my game.
Understand that. But very rarely does this happen. We don't play with too many people who don't want to be there or are only there because the group decided to play this game.
No, they just want to figure out what's happening.
Yeah,
so they don't want to get killed as we walk through the doorway.
They're doing everything to make sure that their character's okay.
Yeah. I'm playing with the D&D game we're playing. I'm the only non-magic user. And so all of the magic users want to set something up before we do anything.
Yes.
And especially if there's a chance of combat or we're going in somewhere where something might jump out at us.
That's true.
They want their bark skin or their mage armor.
All these buffs.
And then they want to give you special bonuses, cast a spell to give you bonuses and stuff.
Yes.
Which is all very, very cool.
But
the only time that those guys annoy me, which they can all annoy me in their own way at different times. But the only way they in game is like I'm like, okay, so which way are we going? Let's go. And then they have to talk about it for an hour before we go anywhere.
Right. Yes.
But I understand that too. They just want to make sure the plan is known.
Well, I mean, that kind of falls on the GMs to keep the game moving. And I've been terrible at that sometimes where I just let you guys just talk ad nauseum. I'm like, oh, yeah, the enemy is coming. And I said that like 15, 20 minutes ago, and you guys are still talking about it. Okay, let's do or do not. Oh, something like that, right? Good old little short guy. Yoda. Next is support new or shy players, right? If you notice that there's some players who are a little bit timid or they're new to the game, you could help them out by explaining things to them, like in between, when people are rolling dice and
just
stuff like that.
Just not too loudly.
Yeah, of course, yeah. And I think this goes a long way because then that job would definitely fall upon the GM.
It's totally different between a new player and a shy player. I've played with a shy player who has lots of experience and just doesn't want to talk. But you are going to get to know that about them, and then you just look at them and go, what are you going to do?
Yes, exactly. I think if you notice that somebody's being shy, you can help them out. And at the very least, you can help out the fact that the GM may not know that. And so when you're talking about a shy person, say, oh, it's not your turn, but what do you want to do? And not like, I don't know, make it easier for them to come out of their shell or explain to the group what's going on or what they want to do. Instead of having the GM say, what do you want to do? And then go through that whole mumbo jumbo. Instead, help them, especially if they're right next to you. You go, oh, this is what we're thinking about doing. What do you think is the best option for you? And stuff like that. I think those kind of little side conversations are really good for the table and for the help the GM and for you as a player.
I don't know too many shy role players.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, sometimes when I play in a game in a convention, some people are shy because they don't know anybody. But once you start role playing, then they kind of
Well, I was very shy when I played Brindlewood Bay.
No, you weren't.
I'm kidding. So next, it kind of hits the same thing as I said already, but it is a social activity, right? We are getting together. The game is not only about your character, right? There's other people at the table. Everybody's supposed to be having fun. Let's be nice to each other and let's not step on anybody's toes as far as playing or when it's your turn and stuff like that. Spotlight stealing, so some of that goes on. Don't do that kind of stuff because it might upset another player. It can be a little bit off-putting for some of the players at your table. If you're like, I'm gonna, somebody who's always thinks there's the caller of the group.
Okay.
Yeah?
I'm not the caller of the group.
No.
I think that I'm not totally sure what you mean by them trying to. Oh, maybe they want to be in charge. But but there's always someone that wants to be in charge.
Maybe, I don't know. Is there somebody in charge in your group? The Friday nights?
No.
Yeah.
It's like herding cats with those people.
I think you might be the one in charge.
Obviously not. I mean, our last session. I loved it when one of the people said, "Who's the warrior?"
Oh, somebody in your team.
Yeah.
I mean, the player.
Yeah.
And they didn't realize that
I was the warrior.
Yeah.
That I was the one.
I think them naturally, because they naturally think they assume you're a sorceress or a spell thrower.
That's because they're all spell throwers.
That's true. That would have been an interesting game for a whole group of.
Well, if I would have known they were all going to be spell throwers, I could have done that too.
That would have been interesting. That would have definitely changed the tone of the game.
I wouldn't say in any way, shape, or form am I a leader in that group.
Well, you say herding cats, and the person herding cats, the herder.
That's usually the way I play. Whether I run the game or I'm playing in the game, especially if there's initiative or something. I was like, when I'm running, I'm like, know it's your turn next. Know what you're gonna do, right? Because I always try to keep them moving.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it takes way too long.
So I thought this one was funny. Somebody wrote, "Safety rules are useful. They're not just some hippie idea."
It's true. They are useful, and it's not some hippie idea.
Yeah, it is. I understand where that comes from. I am an older gamer. I've been playing since 1970s, and at first I'm like, well, I don't need that stuff. You know, I've been playing with my friends forever. Why do I need safety rules? But there are some things I hadn't thought of, and maybe it's because I'm still have a teenage or very young mindset, not mind, that I don't even think about that, right? I feel nobody's going to get upset about things because they didn't get upset about things when they were younger. But people change, and as you get older, things become more important to you or less important depending on what it is. And so when somebody says, I don't like cruelty to animals, I don't want that in my game, and then that happens, or the GM forgets that or something like that, then that's why we have those safety tools.
Okay. There should never be cruelty to animals in any game.
Well, it happens, right? It's like, torture in a game or any other kind of crime that doesn't need to be role played.
I like safety tools. I don't like clowns. I played in a game with clowns.
That's true. But you knew there was going to be clowns. I
knew there were going to be clowns, and I did very well.
Steeled yourself, girdled your...
And the GM knew I didn't like clowns, so he tried not to scare me too much.
Yeah, I think you just toughed it out on that one. Because it was a creepy game to begin with. And hence, I mean, I was creeped out, and I don't even like have a fear
you have
of
been
clowns.
You have been around me for a lot of years now.
Yeah, but still, I mean, I don't know if that makes me anti-clown person like you.
I'm pretty anti-clown. Yeah, safety tools are good, especially like there's even if it just how somebody kills somebody. Maybe you don't want to know, like one of the players killing a bad guy. You don't want to know
details, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the X card.
I like that. It would just fade to black.
Lines and veils.
If someone says no, and you just move on.
Yeah, exactly. Because like some people, they may have a weak stomach, or they may really feel descriptions of things, and somebody doesn't need to understand how somebody falls or gets killed in a medieval setting. Nasty things can happen to you as in your character anyway, or other people's characters, and there's no reason to get into those gory details. Again, maybe as a kid, which I never really got into, but I've heard stories of when people were younger, they would get all descriptive and gory about the details, or say the gory details about what they were doing in the killing of the monsters, right? The hack and slash type stuff. So other things prop up that, like I said, as a young person, you may think, especially as a young person in the 80s and 90s, you probably didn't think too much of it. Nowadays, I think people are more,
sensitive.
I wouldn't say this word sensitive. They're more aware that not everybody thinks like they do, right? and that other people
can only hope.
Other people have hang-ups, or I don't want to say hang-up. Other people have, like you, with clowns, phobia, or what, I don't know, dislike.
It's not a phobia. It's just a straight-up dislike.
And there's other people, like I know somebody who's disgusted with cats. I don't know what a cat did in their early life, but
it attacked her.
Attacked her, bit her tongue. I don't know, but she describes it when she talks about it. She just doesn't like. I hate cats. She thinks they're disgusting. I'm like, wow, that's a real strong feeling, and I'm like, that's more than I want to give the cat power over me, is the feel that they're disgusting. But there you go. I mean,
and you don't know who at your table has what kind of thing.
Exactly.
So you could be innocently talking about stuff that is just part of the game, and someone's going, no, I don't want to talk about that. Oh.
Right.
Or they get a look on their face, and you're like, okay, are you okay? If you're not okay, we'll just move right on.
Yeah. I mean, there's all kinds of things that people could have a problem with, all kinds of stuff. So be aware that there are safety tools out there, and again, they're not some frivolous idea that is for wimps or something. It's for people who really want to put on a game and have fun for everybody, no matter what your situation is.
I don't know what your next one is because I can't read my writing, as you were telling me.
Play your character like a stolen car. Your handwriting? You couldn't read your own handwriting? Wow. Your handwriting is usually very good. So this was something I saw on Reddit, and I'm like, what does that mean? And then when I read their explanation, I go, oh, I understand.
That's how you played your Brindlewood Bay character.
Yeah, I went full in. So I think when people play, well, okay, how about this? When people steal a car, which I totally hate people who steal other people's stuff.
Well, you don't hate them. It's just wrong.
I hate them.
Okay, whatever.
I hate them.
He has a strong opinion.
You should not talk about that.
I don't hate people who steal cars.
Oh.
I do not say anything about people who steal cars anymore.
Anymore. So there's a story behind that, but we shan't get into it. Maybe I'll put out a bonus episode. Anyway, so the reason I hate people who steal, especially cars, right? I'm going to go on a rant here.
Oh, God.
Okay. So people who steal somebody's car, usually they don't steal it for a good purpose, right? Obviously. They don't steal it even to sell the car, right? What they do is they go for a joyride. And when they go for a joyride, some people like destroy the car, right? And that's somebody's, one, they invest a lot of money in that car, usually. Two, they might depend on that car for a job. And that is money, right? And so you might be messing with people's living situation, work situation, the family situation, right? And so that's why I don't like people stealing people's cars. And the idea is that they do beat the heck out of those cars because they steal certain cars for certain reasons, right? Supposedly Kias and Hyundais are easily stolen.
Anyway.
And the other cars they steal because they're like super cool cars to steal, like Lexuses and stuff like that. They're a rear drive.
Oh my God. Okay, just so you know, my car was stolen once.
Okay,
and I was very upset, and I said, I hope the guy gets shot. And he did. And then
not by Jolene though. No,
I felt really bad.
Not by Jolene. She didn't shoot anybody. The guy was going on a joyride somewhere, and he wasn't a nice guy. So
my car got destroyed too. So
well, I think we could have got it back.
No, think we wanted it back.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're saying all of this
got shot in the car, by the way.
Yes. You're saying all of this because
okay, so when you role play a character, you want to behave like it's not you, right? It's not you who's going to go through the trials and tribulations or whatever game you're playing, whether it's science fiction or fantasy. So you want to play that character kind of in an exciting way.
You only learn that when you have a lot of experience role playing.
You think so?
Yeah, because most of the time people make characters that are just like what they want them to be, right? You want to be a fighter, so you make a fighter character, or you want to be a sorcerer, so you make a sorcerer character, and you end up making like 6 or 7 of the same character because you really like the way that it plays. Right. But then when you play with a bunch of people who play all kinds of different games, and they're like, okay, pick one of these characters, it's pre-made, and you're like, okay, I got to figure it out, right?
Right.
So then you figure out how to do what you're saying. Just play that character. It's nothing like you.
Right.
Whereas a lot of people who role play just play characters like themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think also with that, though, you're right. I did that years and years. I played basically a certain version of myself. And a couple times I got really attached to my character because I spent a lot of time with that character. And I think only one of my characters actually died and I was forever traumatized. But I was a little kid, right? So I didn't like that. But since then, I've learned that it's just a character, right? My character can have a really bad thing happen to him. They can even get killed. And I would think, well, that's just part of the story, because in most stories that people tell, there's some bad things that happen to the characters in those stories. And when that happens, that's just the way it is. And I think when certain people are like so cautious or don't want nothing bad to happen to the character, they're too cautious, right? They're the example I saw was somebody's in a dungeon and they have the whole 10-foot pole, they have the lantern, they have what do you call those, gauntlets, right, to make sure they don't get stuck by a needle on a treasure chest. Is what they said. There's a treasure chest in the room after you dispatch the monsters or whatever.
Are you sure it's a treasure chest?
Well, it looks like a chest. How's that?
It could be a mimic.
Yeah, so they prod it with the 10-foot pole all the way around, and they prod the chest to make sure there's...
Yeah, but that guy doing that could be, that's the way he's playing the character. That character really wants the treasure.
Paranoid?
And he doesn't want to get eaten by a mimic.
He's really paranoid. But if they do that all the time, one, it slows down the game like crazy. Instead, he should just go up there and open the chest.
Well, then, that's all fine and dandy right up until someone gets... Eaten, then, the players become more cautious. I'm just saying.
I hear what you're saying. Okay, that's fine. But I think...
Well, I think what you need to do if you want to experience playing different characters is play different characters, right? Play different games with different kind of characters.
Oh, you're stepping onto my other one.
You could be a thief in different games if you really want to just be a thief. Or you could be... but you're still kind of playing the same character, but maybe be a driver or...
Yeah.
A medic or something.
Well, the idea is to play the character and not have no fear of death, but play the character like they would, like a person would,
like someone in the movies would.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Saul's Brindlewood Bay character.
Yes,
you picked somebody like who was it? Something Hart, Mrs. Hart.
I forgot her first name. I had it, but anyway, her name was From Heart to Heart.
Heart to Heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he totally went with that character, and we're all just looking at him going, "Who are you?"
It was my verse. It was my verse. It was my best night ever. Okay, next is you kind of stepped on this one a little bit already, or mentioned it. Is try different systems as a experienced player. Sometimes that's number 10 on my list. A lot of people say they had a lot of experience, and they say, "Well, I've been playing 5th edition for 5 years," right? I'm like,
that's a lot of experience in 5th edition.
But anything else? No. If you haven't tried different games, I think as a player you're missing out on something.
Well, there's two things. One, maybe you only have one group that plays only 5th edition,
right,
and you don't know anybody else, and you're not in a town where there's a lot of gaming stores or conventions.
Cool. Yeah, right. That does happen. I was there.
Yeah.
40 years ago.
So then it's not necessarily that you don't want to experience different games. It's just that none of your friends want to play a different game.
Right. That does happen.
But then sooner or later, you'll find people who will play all kinds of games.
Right. And if push comes to shove, you can go online and there's millions of people.
Now you can, yes.
Playing any game you want.
Millions?
I would think. Okay, hundreds of thousands.
Okay.
On any given day, it's probably tens of thousands, but overall, it's probably...
Millions, you're dreaming.
I think there's enough for millions.
Every day. Or two.
Not about every day, you're right. But there's a lot of people playing games, especially online, with the advent of our technological advances, stolen from UFO down.
So now that you've gone through this list that you compiled,
yes,
what is the most important thing you think for...
Whoa, what's the most important? Can I have two most important things?
Obviously.
I think one would be the GM, one game, because it really broadens your outlook on what is going on at the table.
I would even add to that and say GM for kids. Then you'll know how much fun you can have and not be too stressed out about it. Because when you GM for kids instead of adults, the kids are going to like whatever you...
And they're going to do some crazy stuff.
And you just, Tarogi went up and punched that dragon in the nose, and everybody was like, wait, we need to retcon that back. Are you sure that's what you want to do?
He punched the dragon in the nose.
I was there.
But everybody just ran and hit. Luckily, some people had some good ideas and saved the group.
I think that was my first dimension door.
No, it was a rope trick.
It was a rope trick?
Yeah. You threw the rope up and you guys hit in the little little extra dimensional portal.
There you go. Yeah.
Dimension door is where you got in trouble.
So that's your first one?
Yes.
What's the second most important?
Oh, you want the second one? I was just going to go with the first.
Well, you said.
I know. I think trying different systems, because it really makes you play a different character. Like if you're used to playing a fighter, or let's say D&D 5th edition. Everybody plays D&D 5th edition or 2024 edition, same game. And you play some form of wizard, fighter, cleric, right? That's basically everything else is an offshoot of that. So how many different combinations can you play of D&D 5th edition and it actually feel different? I don't know.
Probably
quite a
lot.
few, but if you play a lot, it's kind of samey, right? More or less. Different spells, different abilities, different special perks, but for the most part, same thing. But when you play a different game, that's where you play Mouse Ritter. You're playing a mouse.
Or say you play Call of Cthulhu.
Call of Cthulhu, exactly. It's not a power game or a power fantasy game. It's not. You're not bulletproof. You are a very weak character in a brutal world, and I think that's going to make you change the way you play. And anything that makes you change the way you play, at least try to experience that. I think it helps you out as a player. I
guess that's it then. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
No, I think that is it. It's not so fun. No, that's it. Huh? So I think all these things I would have, you could probably give advice like this to newer players, but I think only experienced players will understand what I'm talking about.
Just one thing. Don't give them the advice unless they ask you for it. Don't just walk up to your friend who's been playing D&D for 60 years and say, 50 years.
You should try a new game.
We should play a different game now.
You suck. You should try a different game.
don't say stuff like that.
No, of course not. I mean, most people will probably don't. I don't know. I think it's interesting what advice you would give. Not necessarily you're out there giving advice to people.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because we're talking about you, and that is. Whoa. You might give unwanted advice.
I feel targeted here.
X card.
I feel
Fade
triggered. Fade to black. So I think all these will be helpful to you, at least to keep in your mind, and even ask yourself. That's ultimately what this is about. Is ask yourself what could you do to make yourself a better player, and these are simple questions that you could ask yourself, or even ask your group. What do you think I should do to be a better player? And then people may be honest, or maybe say, "Oh, you're great no matter what." Be ready
for correct. What do they call it? Constructive criticism.
Oh, unconstructive criticism. And always, anytime you ask for criticism of any kind, hopefully constructive, you have to have thick skin, because somebody's going to say something that you may not appreciate very much.
So there you go. Have fun. This is Gaming Perspectives with
Saul
and Jolene.
And you have a good day.